Welcome to another episode of the Tech Hub. Now today we're going to look at the Apple Ultra Watch Generation 1. This was released in September 2022, but how does it fare in 2024 and how does it compare to the second generation? Welcome to the episode and let's dive right in. So first of all, let's talk about what led me to buy this awesome watch. And I do believe that it is the best Apple Watch on the market today. So since the introduction of the Apple Watch 10 years ago, from the announcement, I was super excited. Obviously, it was in the rumor mill and it was just a device that I always wanted to have and thought it was a natural extension of the iPhone. I pretty much had every generation since, up until the Series 7. Not because every year there was a better upgrade. Initially there was, but certainly from 5, 6, 7, no huge differences. Is that what I was finding after 6 months, even though I did care for my device, it scratched and it was kind of ready for a change, and it lost the premium feel with those little minor scratches and dings and dents that you always get on a watch. So it was around about this time last year. I had started my eBay store, so as well as looking for cheap eBay auctions to resell products, I also check out Facebook Marketplace, and I found a Apple Watch Ultra, which was quite close to me, for at the time probably 50% of the cost. So I bought it with every intention of reselling it on at a profit. However, after testing it and setting it up and realizing, actually, you know what, this is an epic watch, I'm going to keep this one for myself. So I sold the Series 7, which I had at the time. Now, I always went for the Nike edition, not particularly because I do a lot of running. I did used to run, and that's pretty much the only time I've used the fitness metrics on there and the fitness apps. I loved the watch faces of the Nike stuff as well, which was awesome. So anyway, I got this Apple Watch Ultra and just completely fell in love with it. Now, the way I saw it is, I don't want to upgrade every year. Just if I pay a little bit extra now, which actually wasn't that much extra because of the price I got, maybe this watch will last me longer. Well, I'm pleased to say this one, after a year of everyday use, there is not one scratch on the screen, no minor scratches, nothing on it. It still looks brand new. Yes, it's a Apple Watch Ultra, which is pretty much designed and marketed at adventurers and hikers and mountain climbers. The most extreme thing I do is my gardening. That's about it. But what I really love about it is the bigger display. I don't use maps that often in it, but when I do, it's when I'm usually go to London for a meeting or something, and rather than have your phone out, which now is a security risk, right? If you walk around with your phone like this, somebody on a bike snatches it. Actually, with the larger display, you can just follow the map on here. It's incredible. There's so many reasons I love this watch. It is the best watch. Even at this intro and early stage of this video, yes, it is worth it in 2024. We're going through some more detail in a second. So we're going to look at the spec. We're going to compare it to the second generation. We're going to look at pricing and we'll go from there. But if that's all you needed to know about this watch, go and buy one. It's epic. Okay, so let's look at some of the highlights from some of the specs and all about this watch. Again, excuse the iPad, I have the worst memory for these types of facts and figures. So the screen size is 49 millimeters. Obviously, that's a lot bigger. It doesn't sound a lot bigger, but it's a lot bigger than the standard watches, which is 45 millimeter and 41. It has an S8 chip in it with 64-bit dual-core processor. It's water resistant to 100 meters. It's certified IPX6 dust resistance. It has Bluetooth 5.3. It has a built-in rechargeable lithium battery up to 36 hours. We'll talk about that in a bit. Has a capacity of 32 gigabytes and ceramic and sapphire crystal back. It also has cellular as well. Just a quick note on the cellular there. There's not many mobile operators in the UK that do the pairing with the watch. I don't have it. I'd love to. But as soon as that's available, I'm going to add it to it. But already the cost of a cellular watch is a lot more. There is no version of this watch without it. So I think that's a really cool thing built in already. So let's look at some of those specs in a bit more detail and what that means in the real world. Now, with the water resistance, that's awesome. I actually, when I have gone swimming, I've never worn it, but it's nice to know that. And I think I would go swimming, and I am planning to start doing a lot more swimming as exercise. So I am planning to wear it, which would be awesome. Now the battery. So I've never been bothered with battery life on an Apple Watch because I charge it overnight when I go to sleep. Can't tell the time when I'm asleep, so I just charge the watch. However, this one, I charge it every other day. The battery life is phenomenal. Even at this stage, after a year, it's still incredible. I'm tempted to do sleep tracking, and I feel that I can. So that might be something that I start doing. But for me, the battery life is a non-issue. For me, it's a non-issue anyway with any Apple Watch. You just charge it overnight. But it's good to know that actually I get a solid 2 days, and it's not like I'm even below 10% on the end of that last day. The battery life is phenomenal. So that's some of the key highlights. Now let's compare it to the second generation. Okay, so let's look how it compares to the second generation. So there's only really 3 differences. First of all, it's 32 gigabytes versus 64 gigabytes with the second gen. So you get double the capacity. I don't have a lot of apps on it. And it's a non-issue for me. The nits, you get 1,000 extra nits of brightness with the second gen, which is 3,000 nits. However, this is 2,000 nits, and I've never ever thought, okay, it's not bright enough. So that again for me is a non-issue. The second generation has the S9 chip, but they both have the W3 wireless chip. I very much doubt there's any noticeable processing speed worth that extra bit. So it's really, if you haven't got an Apple Watch Ultra, go for the second generation. You're going to get a newer watch, you're going to get the most up-to-date one and a brand new battery. However, if you're really not that fussed, or if you've got the first generation, it is not it's not worth the upgrade, period. Now let's look at the pricing. Okay, so let's start talking by the second generation Apple Watch Ultra. You can get that for £799 direct from Apple. If there is any on their refurbished store, you can expect about a 15% discount. So that would take it to just around about £700. You might be able to find a deal somewhere. Amazon might do it for less, but I've not really looked into it. So that's pretty much, let's call it around about £700. Now, the first generation, obviously you can't buy this brand new anymore. However, from Apple refurbished, you can get this for £589. So if we're going for that £700 figure roughly for the second gen, that's already £110 cheaper direct from Apple, and you'll get a year's warranty with Apple as well, and it will be like new because their refurb program is amazing. Amazon renewed, you can get it for £520. And I've done my research on eBay, looking at buy it now prices anywhere in the region of 420 to 450, depending on the condition. And of course, if you can play the auctions right, you should be able to get it for just a touch under £400. So it's very close to being 50% cheaper, but the second generation is not double the watch. So I cannot reiterate enough. If you've got an Apple Watch Ultra, it's not worth the second gen upgrade for the cost. Okay, so a bit of a summary. You can tell how much I love this watch, and I'm so glad that I did it. Because actually I've got no plans to upgrade it at all. This year is the year we're getting rumored of a new version of the base model Apple Watch, the Apple Watch 10th generation. Looking at the CADs that have leaked, it does look very similar to this. So I think a lot of the design language from this Apple Watch Ultra will go to this new change Apple Watch for the 10-year anniversary. However, I am not planning to change this watch until it dies on me. Of course, I've got Apple Care as well, because why wouldn't you have Apple Care? I think it costs about £4.50 a month. That's worth it for me because, you know, as much as there's no scratches and dings, if I did accidentally break it properly, it is going to break. I'm not saying it's not breakable. However, you don't get those little dinks and marks in it. And I should know, because every year it was happening to me. After about 6 months, I would start to get these marks. This one, I've done a bit of extreme gardening, perhaps you could say, and this thing is still in pristine condition. So thank you very much for watching this episode. Tell me your thoughts and feelings on it. Do you have an Apple Watch Ultra 1st Gen? Do you love it as much as I do? Are you thinking about getting the 2nd generation? Do you not like this watch? Let me know in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe to me. You can also follow me on Instagram and Threads at Tech Hub Worlds UK, and I'll see you on the next episode.